Her name was Mary Horner Stuart, and Grandpa used to call her Mame. And Grandpa's name was Elbridge Amos Stuart, and I knew them quite well, as I visited them often in California, in Los Angeles in the wintertime, and then in summertime up in Seattle, Washington. They had a nice home in Seattle, Washington, up by Volunteers Park. It was a nice three-story house, and I used to enjoy going there and walking to the park, Volunteer Park. And they also had the farm, Carnation Farms, and we'd go out there often. Dynamite was mine at the time that I was there, just a little Shetland pony, and he was just my size, and I enjoyed that so much. He was all mine. My grandfather was a grocer at the beginning, and then he started the Carnation Company. It was called Pacific Coast Condensed Milk. Grandpa liked carnations, the flower that children would recognize and more or less ask for that for their milk and their cereal. Carnation Condensed Milk was started really for babies, to have it safe for babies, because it was before the First World War, I believe, that there was a need for a milk that could be saved and have it good and safe for children, especially babies, and milk from contented cows. The music was being played in the stalls for the cows, and that's one reason I think they were called contented cows, because they were happily giving milk. There was a radio show, and it was sponsored by the Carnation Company, and it was for the purpose of enlightening people about how wonderful carnation milk is. And we listened to that, of course.
Do you know what it was called?
Contented Hour. Dinah Shore was one of the famous people on the show, and George Burns and Gracie Allen were also on the show. There was a television show that came after the radio show, which was very entertaining. It was sort of like a ritual that we had, that we should watch it. And it was very good, though. The actors, Gracie Allen and her husband, were really quite good at demonstrating how the milk was produced and showing off how it was all put together. It was interesting.
Where is the original Carnation Farm located?
Well, at a little place they named Carnation after, near Seattle, Washington. And it's still there. The instant milk, that was very successful. That was a wonderful invention. Ice cream sandwiches and all fresh milk products. Los Angeles became the main capital of the company. There was a lovely building established there. My first husband was Elmer Ellsworth Atkinson. He was a wonderful man. His family called him L half the time, but most of the time he was called F. I don't know why. He liked all the things I liked to do. I visited him in the summertime after I met him. We liked to play tennis and all summer activities. He was in the infantry. My courtship with F was very speedy, and I went back east to meet his family. I was 21 when I got married. My wedding was in Colorado Springs, Colorado. We were married in the Episcopal Church there, and I think it was St. Margaret's. And we had a nice reception at the Broadmoor, where I lived for quite a while before we found a house to live in. Apartments were very scarce during the war.
Was there time for a honeymoon?
No. But that was all right. We had each other. We were married in January, and he left for overseas in September, so we didn't have much time together. He was captured by the Japanese. He was living in Bougainville with the army, and the story I heard was that he and another friend were trying to escape in Bougainville from the Japanese. They had to declare him dead after a certain amount of time.
When he left, did you know you were pregnant?
Oh, yes. Well, I knew he was going to go overseas, and so we more or less planned it, and I thought, well, he'll be able to see the baby. But that was wrong thinking. I was crushed, for one thing. sad and unhappy, but I was happy that I was pregnant. We're just about ready to start on a little excursion to San Mateo and Hillsborough, where I used to live. And I want to show everybody the homes that we had. And but I think we'll go to the park also. And it'll bring back fond memories, I'm sure. So we're off.
Getaway car, right? You can wave to him, Mom.
This is the street where Patty Hearst lived. And this street up here, which says Arlington Lane, is where my old school used to be. Here's our old house. This is our house at 321 West Santa Inez. We lived in this house 20 years while all the children were growing up and going to school. Good morning. Here we are in the pool. This is the time to do the exercise, which is walking in the pool. And my regular instructor had an accident, so my darling daughter is helping out tonight. And she knows all the little tricks that we do, the exercises. So I'm so happy that she could join me today. I was going to show off my rings. The one on my pinky finger is the Halden crest, and I had it made in England several years back, and I enjoy it very much. And I gave one to all the children, and the children in turn have given them to their children. And the family crest is called Suffer, and we still don't know exactly what the word meant in those days. But my interpretation is that it means, come unto me, come forward and let me help you. Okay, time to go.